Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to thread your machine. This is for anybody that has maybe recently purchased a sewing machine and you're like, now what do I do? This video is for you. Okay, so I don't have a fancy machine. This is mine. It was a cheap one from Walmart, about 80 bucks, guys. It has been so good to me. I love it. And one day I'll upgrade, but for right now, guys, this one is perfect for just, little sewing projects and things like that. So, to thread your machine, the first thing you're going to want to do is find your little spool pin, and you're going to want to pull that up just like that. You're going to take the thread of your choice. I'm just using an all-purpose black thread for demonstration, and you're going to place it on the little spool pin. Most sewing machines have the instructions for you. It's going to show you what to do on how to thread your machine. So once you've got your thread on your spool pin, you're going to take your thread from here to here, all the way down and inside your needle. But before we even thread our machine, we have got to put thread on, oh dang, I dropped it. Take our bobbin, which is this thing, and we need to put thread on it. So that's what I'm going to show you first, because we're going to need this to even sew anything. It requires the bobbin, and it requires your big spool of thread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bobbin right on that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my thread and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to loop it through this and around, and it shows you, see the directions right here show you. I'm going to around that, and then I'm going to pull it to my bobbin. Okay, so I've got my thread to my bobbin, and you're going to just pull it through the little hole there, okay? And then you're going to click it over, just like that. And you're going to take the thread and put it through these little prongs here. Let me see if I can show you better. Just like that. Okay guys, so now we are ready to thread our bobbin. So find your foot pedal. Here's mine. It's very worn, but there's my foot pedal. Okay, you're going to want to hold your thread just like this. Slowly press on your foot pedal, and it's going to spin. Okay, so now you're just going to cut your thread, release your bobbin, and pull it up and out. Okay, so now it is time for us to actually thread the machine, now that that's out of the way. So we're going to find our thread. We are going to take it off of this. So it's only going to be from the spool pin over through this loop right here, and this is where we're going to bring it down and put it into the needle. Okay, so you've got your thread, and you're going to want to bring it straight down into this little thing right here. This little thing right here. You're going to go around the tension rod, okay, and then you're going to go back up, see? And here you're going to loop it, okay? You're going to loop it inside of that, and then you're going to bring it straight down again. Okay, so I hope that you guys can see this next part. I'm gonna try to zoom in so that you can see my dirty machine. It is very much loved. Okay, so you are gonna take your thread and you're gonna take it around this little piece here, okay? There's a little piece up here above the needle, and you're gonna wanna put it in there and then pull it through, okay, just like that. Now on the side of your machine, there should be a knob. And this knob, when you spin it, it lowers and raises the needle. So I'm going to want to raise my needle. I wanna make sure that my needle's all the way up. And now I can thread my needle. So usually what I do, guys, is I take my scissors and I just clip the, this might be too close. Okay, now guys, we are going to learn how to put our bobbin inside our machine before we get started on some practice sewing. So you're going to want to take your cover off, okay? And this is what it looks like on the inside. Just like that. Mine's really dirty, but that's what they look like. So now let me show you how to put the bobbin in and position it right and correctly. Okay, so you just slip your bobbin in there just like that, and here's your thread, okay? Now, it's going to show you right here where to bring your thread, and you're going to want to follow these directions exactly, because it will mess up your understitching, okay? So if you don't have this bobbin in right and correctly, you're not going to be able to sew anything, or you might be able to sew, but it is not gonna look pretty. Okay, trust me, I have learned the hard way many times. If I had to use my seam ripper right here, I keep it on hand, rip out seams, rethread, rebob, and start over. So you're gonna want to make sure that you get it right inside that little loop. And let me see if I can get a real good close-up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, can you see it? It's like right there. Let me see if I can get this seam ripper and show you. You're going to want to put your thread right through this right here, okay? Between these two metal pieces. And you're going to want to bring it around. Just like that, okay? Okay, guys, remember where that knob is on the side of your machine? You're going to have to use that to get this thread up through here. So, you're going to want to grab this piece of thread here, okay? And you're going to want to turn that knob on the side of your machine until your needle goes down, down and up, and then you're going to see your thread. Can you see the thread right here, guys? It's going to pull that other thread through, and it's going to bring it up through this. I wish I wouldn't have used black thread now because you can't really see it. Take your scissors, and you're going to want to pull it through just like that, see? And then it's going to come out. And now we are ready to sew. Okay, put your little cap back on, guys, and let's do a practice round. So I'm just going to use like some scrap fabric that I have, guys. So you're going to want to put it in there. And if you'll notice on your machine, guys, it'll say on the side, like, you know, it's a type of seam allowance. So if your hem is going to be 1/2 inch, you would want to bring your fabric over to 1/2 inch. Or 3/4, you would want to bring it over there. I usually just eyeball mine to see, kind of gauge like my project, how far I want my seam to be. So for demonstrations, guys, I'm just going to do it at 1/2 inch. And then you're going to want to stick it on there. And the presser foot holds the fabric down on these little teeth under here, so it will feed it through. You do not have to push it through. It will catch the fabric and it will bring it through for you. So this is the fun part. We get to, whoops. Okay, so slowly press your foot, press your pedal, and it's gonna go for you, see? I'm not having to touch it. Now, when you start any project, there's such a thing as called backstitching, okay? So it's going to set your seam. So to backstitch, it just means the needle is going to go in reverse. And to make that happen, there's another little lever right on the side of your machine. I don't know where it is on yours. Right here, it's on the front of mine. So on other machines, it could be on the side, it could be anywhere. So you are going to hold this down as you press on your pedal. So beginning and ending any project, like if you're sewing and you're starting on your fabric, you're going to want to sew a little bit forward and then backstitch. So hold that down and it's going to go in reverse. You see it? Okay, so it kind of sets your seam, okay? So it doesn't rip out. And then you just guide it and sew it through and it just comes out the other end. And so here I would stop. Let me see if I can zoom in. Just like that. Press down my little lever, my pedal, and it will backstitch. See? And then go forward again. And voila! Guys, we're done. Woohoo! Okay, there's one more thing I gotta show you. Okay? It's how to lower and raise the presser foot. That's very important. There's a little lever. Mine's right here under my machine. Okay? Raise, lower, raise, lower. So you're going to want to find yours on your machine because beginning each project, once you get your fabric under that presser foot, just like that, you're going to want to lower that machine down, okay? Because it's going to hold it down to them teeth and it's going to feed it right through. One last thing to mention is like your tension settings or your seam settings, you know, how you want your stitching. So I leave mine about here. I like that on most things. If I want to be decorative, I'll turn it over to the zigzag. But for each project that you have, it may call for a different type of stitching. So sometimes you want to do the zigzag for it to give a more firm hold. And sometimes, you know, a straight stitch is perfectly fine. But it's up to you and it's up to the project how tight or what type of stitching that you want. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope this helped you. I hope that you have success in your new sewing adventure. And I want to say thanks for watching this video and God bless.